We're definitely going to talk about that because it is a phenomenal organization that is fighting a fight that someone needs to fight. And man, I was just, before we get going, I'm just going to say, man, I came to your event and didn't really know hardly anything about it and was blown away. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Life Podcast. I am just trying to get to hear people's stories and why they do what they do and how they ended up doing what they're doing. And today I am sitting with a pretty new friend, but hopefully a long time friend, Erin Smith, and she started 756 Dark. And we're definitely going to talk about that because it is a phenomenal organization that is fighting a fight that someone needs to fight. And man, I was just, before we get going, I'm just going to say, man, I came to your event and didn't really know hardly anything about it and was blown away at your passion, how incredibly well you ran the event, and how fun it was. It was just a ton of, I don't want to go on about that because I'll talk about that forever. We'll get to that in a little bit. But hey, let's get going.
Thank you.
All right.
It's so fun to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh man,
I get so
pleasure.
fired up. So yeah, just let me know if I need to calm down, but I get fired up about this. So thanks for having me.
Come on, good deal. Well, let's start off by just getting to know you. You know, you were born in Spokane, correct?
Yep.
So take us back. Tell us about your family, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, here's a snapshot. Born in Spokane, 81, grown up with Goonies and,
come on,
all that. Home of Ben Greenfield and the Gonzaga Bulldogs, as we know. But I grew up like most of us do in the 80s, and then went to Meade High School, Eastern, flew the coop, moved to California to go live on the beach, and got a job in Southern California.
So where were you when you moved to California?
I was 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you lived in Spokane for your first 28 years of life. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Just, doing the typical, college career, and moved to California and had a really crazy freak accident. I actually almost died, like a huge health scare. And as we know, those moments always point us to our path, little rug pull moments. And I had a seizure. Long story short, a grand mal seizure, and had to go on disability, and it changed my path to go into health and health optimization, functional medicine, holistic health. I just became like the biggest health nut because when you kiss death, it changes your life.
Oh yeah,
you know,
dude, I definitely
you appreciate,
know that.
you appreciate your life 100x after you literally should have died. I had angels that day for sure. And so I'm in California and learning all these things about health. And I went down many, many rabbit holes, which the sex trafficking rabbit hole is one of those. But I just built a massive network in sales in Southern California for about 10 years. And then
what were you selling?
I was working for all the top doctors in holistic health, functional medicine, like Dr. Zach Bush, Dr. Dan Pompa. Just became I was just on fire for health. Okay. And selling nutraceutical supplements to doctors and learning all these protocols about health, anything health related. I knew it, lived it, breathed it, was all about it.
Yeah.
Played beach volleyball, just living the single life in your 30s, and having a great time. And then life had other plans and kicked me out of California right before COVID. As we know, it's always it's always beautiful when you look back and see it all come together. But I have 4 nephews, and my sister was having her 3rd baby, and she was doing a home birth, and she said, "Will you come home and be my push buddy?" And I was like, "Yep." So I put all my stuff in storage, and I fly home for the birth and hang around for about 6 months to a year.
Was home Spokane?
Spokane, yep.
Okay.
Spokane, my whole family's in Spokane, and my nephews are my loves of my life, and I don't have any kids yet so they're my number one. So I fly home to be home with all of them, my new baby, my new nephew, brand new baby Luca, and then COVID hits, and I'm like, I'm not going back to California.
How long were you in California?
For 10 years.
Okay,
yep.
10 years.
So I learned all the protocols, met all these amazing people, went down a lot of rabbit holes, all good rabbit holes, and then life kicked me out. And I remember going, what is happening? And at that point, when I was with my family, I heard this voice saying, get to the mountains and the lakes. And so I moved to Coeur d'Alene. It was like, I knew just in something in my heart was like, you're moving to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Come on.
and the rest is history. And here I am. So yeah, it's always looking back. It was every single step along the way it was all meant to be, not one single misstep ever. It always comes together perfectly, as we know, and wouldn't trade it for the world. And I'm just so happy to be in Coeur d'Alene. I'm a huge fan of health, freedom, community, people, God, faith, nature, wake surfing. Let's go. So yeah, so it's like, oh, I've finally arrived. I should have been here my whole life, but California taught me a lot, which we'll talk about a lot of things, and it just made what I'm doing 100x more. I'm more on fire for it because of it, and just grateful to be here. And we're only at year 2 for my event, so it's cool to see what's happening even since then, and just really grateful to share more. So
take us back to those 10 years in California. What was life like? I know you were in sales and big time into health stuff, but you're 28. That's kind of the let's go.
Oh yeah.
What was California like?
Well, that was before pre-COVID. That was like Southern California, surf life, beach volleyball,
Are you a surfer?
health. Yeah.
Oh,
wake
wow.
surfer, but not, I tried, I didn't make it very far on the real waves. I'm scared of sharks, but California was everything I needed. I learned about everything health optimization, any protocol, any hack, any root cause issue. Went down the rabbit hole on vaccine injury. I was working in a lot of spaces that a lot of people don't know a lot about, that opened my eyes a lot. And yeah, got the wool pulled away from my eyes a lot of times with, root causes from diseases across the board to all of it. And it woke me up, and so grateful for that, because there's people looking for answers for health that they have no idea where to go to, where to turn to. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of stuff out there that's it's not clear. And I got a college, 10 years of education right in my brains. I tended to want to help as many people as I could with this information. They're like, I have this disease. I'm like, here's all the resources, or I have this issue. Like, this is what I learned from all these amazing doctors. Yeah. So it was where I first really discovered a lot about root cause healing and the magnificence of our body. And then that's when right before that is when I had my seizure. And so life had just completely opened up, where I had a new respect for life. And when you go through a huge freak accident health scare and you come this close to death, you just want to soak every minute you want every minute is precious, and you want to do something with that minute, because a lot of people don't have that opportunity. So I got really passionate about helping people in the health space, and just was on fire to help as many people as I could. And meanwhile, I'm doing this in the health space, and I'm learning about all these things. And I'm also, while most people are going out and binge drinking on a Sunday, I'm playing beach volleyball and don't want anything to do with the California life, LA, the Hollywoods, life, wanted nothing to do with it, because I tended to see unfortunately, there's a lot of good people in California that I worked with, but then there's a lot of kind of that artificial fake energy that I just did not jam with. A lot of people, there's a lot of Botox, there's a lot of plastic surgery, there's a lot of faces that are frozen, a lot of people that have not a lot of souls. And again, that's everywhere in the world, but I felt this something is pushing me out of California. I'm like, I don't jam with these people. Yeah. Not to say these people, but I'm like, where is somebody with a soul? I remember I would go to the supermarket, I would just look somebody eye. It's Trader Joe's, and they won't even look me in the eye. Their heads are down. They're like, "Yep, here you go, bye." And there was no human connection, and I was craving. I'm like, give me something. I need humans with a soul, And that was really, that pulled at me for years. And I would walk down the boardwalk and wave at people and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And they'd be like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" You're way too nice. You must not be from here. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm from Washington State." They're like, "Yeah, you don't fit in here." It was just pushing me out. But I saw a lot of people that had their light was off, they had no light inside of them. And I felt that very strongly, where are all my people at? There's, and I found a small crowd, a small, amazing group down there, but something was showing me there's something else that's missing in people. And there's no human connection. Then I move here and everyone makes eye contact. Everyone's so nice. People look and talk at you at the grocery store, and they're asking you, like, how's your day? And it's like the person checking you out at the grocery store. You're like, I freaking love you. Thank you. Like, you're my people. I've found my home, And so I felt a lot of there's a reason why I'm telling you this, but I felt a lot of, there's a light that was missing in a lot of my experience in California. So learned a lot, saw a lot, experienced a lot. And then God was like, boop, you're done, and just kicked me right out of California. And that's when I landed back home, and COVID hit. And then during COVID, I was trying to buy a house in Coeur d'Alene. As we know, Coeur d'Alene was very hard to buy a house or anything during COVID, but I found like a little condo and took the leap, and so glad I did that. But yeah, it was an experience that I'll never regret, and brought me so much knowledge and opened me up to the sex trafficking arena as far as like hearing speakers at events. I went to a lot of conferences. I learned a lot about it a long time ago. And I know you're going to have Nate and Caleb on from The Innocent and Helping Captives. They'll talk more about it in detail. But once your eyes are open, you can't unsee it, and once you get exposed to it, you're like, I just want to help people. I want to do something. There's this calling inside of you that just wants to do more. That I don't want the LA life. I don't want to get wasted on the weekends. I don't want to just have like an empty life. And so again, it showed me all the things that just brought me to where I am today.
Yeah. So, you've been back in Coeur d'Alene, like for how long?
The beginning of 2021. Yeah. Like January of 2021.
And, so you came to Coeur d'Alene. I know you're involved in CrossFit, involved obviously still in the, a lot of the health stuff or whatever, but, did you get plugged into like a CrossFit gym right away, or how'd that work?
Yeah, I remember because I left everything behind when I left California. I packed up my car and couldn't have gotten out of there faster. And I just knew if I could just find a CrossFit gym, a coffee shop, a hot yoga studio, and an organic grocery store, I'm good. Like that's all I need,
There you go.
And so the first place I found was CrossFit Coeur d'Alene. That was on 4th Street downtown. Shout out to those guys. That's where I started. I knew, number one, that was going to be my community, and they'd be the right people, because I know CrossFit they have like such good people, amazing hearts, inspiring, strong people. It was during COVID, so I was like, where are all my people at that are not putting up with this, this stuff? And I needed to lift. It was my 40th birthday at that time. I was like, I need to get strong, build muscle. You're just in like beast mode during COVID. You're like, I'm not going to be one of those people that just sits. I'm not living in fear. And I'm,
you're not wired that way.
No. When I know how the human immune system works, you're not going to just be like, you have no fear. You're like, I know how to boost my immune system, and you need community, you need connection, you need to be around people. And so I got into CrossFit, fell in love with it, and just, the athlete in me, I did a lot of sports growing up, a lot of basketball, volleyball, the surfer, snowboarder, and I'm obsessed with CrossFit. It's such a great workout, but it's more about the mental health and the community. And I needed someone to kick my butt to build muscle, because otherwise I feel like, chicks, we're just like, okay, is that enough? And you do CrossFit and everything changes when you do CrossFit. You just fall in love with it, and you just feel so strong, and highly recommend that to everybody. But that's
good deal. So, and I'm going to jump ahead, because I definitely want to spend some time there.
Yeah.
So where did the idea, well, first tell us about 756 Dark and where that idea came from.
Yeah. Well, again, back in my career in California, when I was getting all the wool pulled away from my eyeballs, I went down the rabbit hole and just was like, I want to donate. I want to do something more. And I donated to Operation Underground Railroad back in the day, and was donating for years, but I just felt like I need to do something more. This pull just kept pulling at me for years. And during COVID, where you sit all day just working on stuff that you never get a chance to work on, I'm sitting there going, what could I do during COVID that I could help raise more money? And because it was COVID, everything was shut down. You can't really do much for a fundraiser. So the idea was planted during COVID, and I never gave up. I just kept going at it, and it ended up turning into this thing. But I always wanted to do some type of CrossFit inspired event to raise money or do something, right? And so 756 Dark is essentially just a health CrossFit inspired event dedicated to raising awareness for 2 local organizations that are in the trenches doing work locally. And the 2 organizations, which again, you'll have these guys on, they're some of the best guys I've ever met. The Innocent and then helping captives. And the event, which we'll get into those guys, but the event is just a night ruck. It's really just one big hype event to lift up these organizations because not a lot of people know about them and they're too busy doing the work to put on their own event that spreads awareness. They put on like smaller events, but they needed some type of really rad hype event to get the community really locked in to know what's going on because it's happening not only locally, it happens everywhere, and to say that it doesn't, a lot of people are like, this doesn't happen here. I'm like, it does. It just happens under our noses and, it's not talked about as much. And so, it's 756 Dark is that name comes from a statistic that woke me up a long time ago, which was 756,000 kids go missing every year. And when I heard that, I put my nephews in that number and I would just bawl my eyes out. Yeah. I'm like, I want to do something for these kids. Cause some of them obviously they go missing, they return home, but a lot of them get swept up into this horrific industry. And my nephews are my why. They're the loves of my life. And I would do anything for them. And so I put them in that number and I said, I'm doing something. And that's where 756 Dark that name came together. So the 756 is from that stat. And then Dark is because we're doing a night ruck. So it's a ruck, like a ruck is a weighted vest walk as a community in the dark for those missing kids and the horrific stuff that's happening in that industry and also for the innocent and helping captives to lift them up and walk for them too and all the work they're doing. Because the innocent is the root cause and helping captives is the way out. It's sort of the bookends of the industry. So the innocent, founded by Nate Lewis, they work with local organizations, local law enforcement to run undercover operations to go after pedophiles and run sting operations. So they go root cause and helping captives with Caleb Altemeyer, who's the CEO. They're on the other side that are helping women who leave, escape, flee. Like they leave it and they don't have anywhere to go. They don't know where to go. They don't know, it's a big empty space and helping captives provides everything, the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, care, aftercare, the house, food, shelter, prayer. I mean, everything. It is a haven for these women who don't have anywhere to go. Cause a lot of times they leave and then they go back and horrible things happen, which I don't know how much I can talk about, but Bree from The Innocent, she spoke about it at the event. It had everyone on their feet with a standing ovation because someone's got to do something.
Absolutely.
I just got tired I didn't get tired. My soul called me I didn't want to sit on the sidelines anymore. When, you hit your 40s and you're like, I don't want to live the rest of my life and not do this thing that's inside of me. I feel like it's a marching order from God, like do something. And I started to talk to people about it and it came together and now it's such a cool event, but I never gave up. I started in 2020 and it just started taking one step after the next. And pretty soon now we're at year 2 and it's just the coolest event ever.
It is. And how I even found out about it is my daughter and I have a little t-shirt company and we do these t-shirts and I was getting a t-shirt printed and I saw these sweatshirts getting stamped or printed or whatever you call it. And I saw the Innocent logo on there. And I know Nate and I'm a huge, the work that Nate's doing is so critical. And I mean, I can feel my hands will turn into fists and I'll just get so angry at these people that just rob children of their innocence. And, I look at it as it's a generational crime because a lot of times these kids that are victims, they grow up and end up kind of a messed up life and then they raise their kids that way and
passes
their
on
kids. So it's just Nate's doing incredible work. And I saw that and I asked the guy, I'm like, dude, what are you doing for the innocent? Because I was like, I got to be there, whatever it is. And he goes, oh, well, it's the 756 Dark, do you know Erin? And I'm like, I don't even know what an Erin is. And so then he told me about it. And so he shot me your contact info. And I'm like literally walking out the door, texting you like, okay,
awesome.
what event is this? And I got to be there and what's going on. And I still didn't really even know what it was. You sent me a couple videos. I shot them out on my social media to try to, but I was like, I got to figure out because unfortunately, there's a lot of benefits or charities or whatever out there that are kind of like, I don't know how much good, how much good they're doing. So, it's kind of like, I'm going to jump all in before before I'm jumping all in, I got to come to the
Yeah,
event. And so
absolutely.
I did that. And I was just like, it's this, I didn't know what a night ruck was.
You got to read the website, which you didn't read the website, Dave.
Well, I read about the backpack, the weighted backpack. So
Yeah.
I get because I love to hike. I got my hiking backpack and just stuffed it. And so I had this huge backpack.
How much weight was in it?
I don't, not a lot of weight, but it's like, 30, 40 pounds.
That's
or
a
something
lot
like that.
for an hour and 20-minute ruck.
I see these guys wearing actual like vests that are like weighted, and I'm like, okay, I'm the only one with like a hiking backpack on. But
that works too.
Oh,
it's the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was, this music was great. The energy was great. The speakers were great. And I was just like, it was just such a really cool event. And I was so amazed that you took, because there was a lot of the CrossFit community really showed up.
Yeah. They show up big.
Yeah. And that was so cool because they are so super cool people. So I've done a couple Ironmans, same type of crowd. The people that are doing those are just such cool people. So that part, when you were talking about, it's like, oh yeah, I kind of have experienced that or whatever. So they all showed up and they were all, it was just this kind of this hype event. But I was so impressed that you took your passion for, physical fitness and our health and CrossFit, and took that and figured, okay, what can I do to reach this other passion that I've got? And you put the two together and it turned into this just such a cool thing.
Thank you. Well, I just feel like I'm just the hype girl. I'm just following God's marching orders. Like the visions kept coming to me, and I'm getting chills just even saying that, but the visions kept coming, and I just kept putting it on paper and listening to the music and I would listen to the music that we rocked to, the really powerful stuff. And I was like, I can see it. Okay. And then I'd go down to the park and I'd walk around the park and I would just keep seeing things like, oh, let's add this and let's do this. So it's all God. Like I'm just the vessel, but it started out as just, let me get everyone from my gym together and let's just go ruck around the park. And then all of a sudden it just opened up, and I'm so proud of it. And it's only year 2. And I can only imagine once CDA hears about it, they're like, the park's going to be packed. It's at some point. I can't wait. But it was so special. So thank you for saying that. Cause I knew before I launched this, I was like, what if nobody comes? I'm like, no, I can get people from my gym. And I had all this fear, like just kind of, in my ear, like, well, I'm like, I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm like, if I die tomorrow, do I want this to die inside of me, or do I want to just go for it? I'm like, I'm 40 freaking whatever, how old I was when I launched it. I'm like, I'm doing it. Like it was just, and I didn't let the fear creep in too hard. I just took action, and action cures the anxiety. And then it just was like, boom, and the doors just started opening. And I remember, I'm like, if I can just get the first year, get it on camera, just create it. Like if you will build it, they will come. I knew in my heart, if I could just get people there the first year, get it on camera, and then start to promote it, everyone would be like, this is because it's so unique. Because it's, for anyone that is curious, we have these speakers that speak from the innocent and helping captives, like Nate, Caleb, Bree, who was she has an amazing story, trafficked since she was abused since she was 8 years old. She got a standing ovation. Brian Putney, who used to work in Homeland Security and would see all of this on the front lines all the time. They speak, and then we start the ruck at sunset. The cool thing is with the ruck, we're actually rucking as a group. So, a 5K races, everyone's kind of spread out, but this, we're as a unit, like a wolf pack. And so you're rucking together, but you're rucking in silence. So you don't have to have a weighted vest. You can just use a backpack. You can push a stroller with kids, doesn't matter. But you are putting some type of weight, on your body to symbolize the weight of all of this. And you ruck together as a group, but it's in silence. And then as the sun's going down, it's dark, right? Which is where dark comes from, the night, from 756 dark. But I put a surround sound system around the entire park with the coolest, most badass playlist. And so when you're rucking in silence as a group with the park just filled with sound, something hits your heart that just burns your heart after you just hear all these people speak. It hits it just hit, and then we close with another candlelight. After we ruck for 75 minutes, we take off our vests, and then we grab a candle, a faux candle, and we do one final lap together as a group. And then we meet in the middle and do a prayer for the innocent and helping captives and all the victims. And we close it out with a huge candlelight prayer. And man, when it's because you're in nature, in the dark, with community, with music, with purpose, with emotion to create change. And it's like a sandwich of you just turn into a lion, in the best way. It just makes you want to. So the whole goal is to spread the word, create awareness, word of mouth, create donations, and just lift these guys up and show what they're doing and do something cool together where you feel unified in community and in purpose and then it's like we're just starting with the seed, and then the goal is to have it spread like wildfire. Just plant the seed and then have everyone talk about it so that more people come, we create more donations, and they can continue their work and spread outward, because they're starting in Idaho and the Pacific Northwest, Spokane Valley. And this is like, we want to go nationwide with it. So that's the whole goal. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And what was the MC guy? What was his name?
Oh, Alex Simon.
Dude, he was awesome. And then when the speakers were happening, you were kind of up front, but if you were in the audience, and you probably got to see it as well, the sun was setting over Coeur d'Alene Lake. Cool. It was so beautiful. It was like, dude,
I know.
Oh my goodness.
It hit so, I know. I was like, is anyone else seeing this?
Oh, it was crazy. And then, when you have that 756, those huge signs lit up in the dark, and that was powerful.
Thanks.
And then you get, I put because this is my first one. So I put the, you put your bags down, and then we all took that candle and we walked around, in that final lap. It was just, you just couldn't help but think about these victims that really are. It's something we don't like to talk about. It's something that we want to pretend doesn't exist. And
someone else do something about it. Like they'll do it. Who's they?
Right. Right.
It's us. Yeah.
It is.
Sorry,
and so no.
Yeah.
It was one lap, but it was just it was a powerful moment for me. And man, I would say, if you're a company out there, what a great company event.
Thanks.
If you're looking for team building or support this incredible organization that is fighting a fight that not many are willing to fight, man, get your company out there. Obviously, it's going to a great cause, but what a great team building event.
Yeah.
Just to unify your group. I'm gonna make sure that all of our company is at this event next year, because I went and I was like, I kept thinking of all the people that I want my kids. I thought, I've got 5 of them, so 16 to 26, and I thought, man, every one of them should have been at this event.
Yep.
And I just kept thinking of all the people that need to be there. Yeah. So I'll be like a huge advocate for next year. Like, I'll be bringing people, and you got to be here. You got to be here. You got to be here.
And that's a whole goal. I knew if I could just create something that just moves people in a way that just where you'll come back every year and you'll bring 5 people. That was the goal, is like, I got to go all in on this. So I took a huge leap of faith, did the whole thing myself. And I was like, I don't care. I'm doing it. Because I know if I can just get one person heart, that'll spread to 20, and then 20 will spread, and it'll just keep going. And thank you for saying that, because that's what I felt in my heart. Like, I knew I could. The vision was so special. I knew I could get there. It just takes a little bit of time, So thank you, because that was everything I could ever hope for them.
You can't go to the event and not walk away going, oh, again, that was kind of fun. That was, it's like, it is a, not to make it weird or anything, but it is like a powerful evening. I thought about it I've been like wanting to get you. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
But I've been wanting to get you on because I'm like, dude, I gotta get the word out however I can. And I'm still learning how to do this podcast thing.
Dude, I love it.
Man,
I love it. We all start somewhere.
Yeah. And I wanted to go back to something that you said earlier when you had this burning inside you, and you're like, dude, I'm not going to go to my grave with this still burning inside you. I think that oftentimes people have like things that they're passionate about or things that they want to see done, and life happens. A day turns into a week, turns into a month, turns into a year, turns into 10 years, turns into 20 years. And then it's like, oh, I was passionate about that, but now I'm kind of maybe too old to do it, or, whatever, life happens. So that's the, if I could ask you for a piece of advice from someone, my guess is you never organized these ruck marches before. You just had a passion to do something. What advice would you give to people out there that are thinking, man, I've got this thing. Maybe it's single moms, or maybe it's literacy, or maybe it's, whatever they're passionate about. What advice would you give them to start? Like, what would you say?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I did. I got quiet enough to listen to God and lock in with God, and had to clear out the noise and get really, really quiet to listen and to like really sink in with just how strong the pull was. And then I just put the vision that I had on paper, and I made a presentation, and I started, I made like a Vimeo, or I recorded on Zoom. You know, you can do like a screen share and you can put slides up. I made slides. I put a presentation together with my vision, and I started sending it to my friends. I was like, I have an idea. And they're like, dude, this is so cool. And it wasn't anything compared to what it is now, but I just started talking about it. And then the more I talked about it, the more I was like, oh, this would be really cool. I'll add this in and add this in. And then I never gave up, because I started it during COVID and I never gave up. And it might have paused for a hot minute for a week or two until the next thing would come and the next thing would come. But I never gave up. I just always started chopping away at it. And then the vision became more clear. And then I feel like God was like, oh, she's serious. Let's go. And then a door would open that would lead me to the next thing, like little breadcrumbs, and not breadcrumbs, but a trail of clues and help and support. And the more I grew in my faith, the faster the miracles would come faster. Yeah. And the story of my faith is a whole different thing, but my faith is like 100x over the last few years. And I realized when I spend time with God in the morning and I lock in with God, the thing comes, the person, the whatever drops in faster. And I started to see God becoming more and more real throughout this whole thing. And so if you just lean in and you feel that tug and you know there's something inside of you, but you just can't, you're wrestling with it, just get it on paper and start working on it and telling people, and then keep the faith and just pretend like if I had $1 million, what would I do with it? And then that usually helps to just drop it in, like, oh, I'd do this. This would be so cool. Yeah. And then things will happen. Because I think God wants to know that you're serious, that you're not doing it for your own ego. You're not doing it for your own gratification. You're not doing it for like, look at me. It's like, no, it's for purpose. And it's because if God is like the center point of your life and you're doing it to make impact in the world, it's a completely different energy. You're out of service, right? Versus look at me. And so I feel like when money's on the throne and greed and ego's on the throne, shit will burn to the ground over time. Sometimes everybody's different with what they're doing. But I noticed when I was like, I'm going in to serve, to make a difference. I don't care what the cost is. I'm going to figure it out. I get chills. Like I just, when it's for a kingdom impact, oops, sorry, I hit my face. I get so passionate. I start waving my hands around. Yeah. When you do it for kingdom impact, service, purpose, to go help people, the doors fly open, because God's like, now you get it, you know?
Yeah,
and
totally.
And my friends are like, Erin, you're going to spend how many thousands of dollars launching an event? Because, I had to buy all the signage, it adds up fast when you're doing an event, right? And they're like, Erin, are you serious? You're going to do that just to go? You're not doing it for your own company. You're doing it to go help 2 other organizations. It just benefits them. You're going to do all of this for them. And I was like, yeah. Like everyone thought I was crazy. But when I stepped into it, it was like, I'm doing this and there's no turning back. God's like, oh, let's go. And then everything fell into place. So it's just starting is really all it is.
Yeah. Come on.
Let's go.
It's weird, but for some reason, while you're talking, I couldn't help. And this is for somebody out there, I believe. The Bible has a character in the Bible. His name's Gideon. And Gideon's basically hiding, like threshing some wheat, trying to fix some stuff, when an angel appears to him and says, basically, hey, mighty warrior, get up. And he didn't see himself as a mighty warrior, but he ends up doing this incredible work, which it's too long to get into. But I just thought, man, your words were so powerful. Like, just start. Man, start, because, man, there is a lion inside of us waiting to do something amazing, but oftentimes nobody starts.
That's all it is.
And so, yeah, dude, those are powerful words, man. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like, that was me a long time ago. Like, oh, sure, just start. But it's true. When people used to say that on their other podcasts, I'd be like, yeah, just start, whatever. But you have to know how to do it. But it's a God thing. It's different when doing it for yourself on your own.
Yes.
Versus I'm doing it with God. Totally different experience. I get chills. Oh man. So yeah, you gotta unlock the lion, and that's all I did. And I can only imagine where this is gonna be in a few years. So I want to look back on this and be like, remember Dave when we did that podcast?
Oh, holy
and now look at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm super excited to see where God takes this, where people in our community take this. I think as the word gets out, you can't you can't see the statistics and you can't unhear once you hear the message about what's happening to, it's especially, our children.
I actually
and women.
brought all the stats. They're on my website. If you want, you can always go through it if you want to read. I mean, we don't have to, but.
Oh no, read it. We can do anything we want.
I mean, we'll crack and this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is
Yes.
this isn't even anything. There's so many more stats. Nate, with the Innocent, he's got a whole bunch more on his
He's
Instagram.
like an encyclopedia.
Same with Helping Captives. Yeah. So go to those. But on my website, I just have some of the ones that really were, really heavy. Child sex trafficking is in all 50 states. It is the second most profitable illegal industry in the U.S. It's a $150 billion industry. There's nearly 500,000 registered sex offenders that are living in the U.S. and 100,000 of them are missing. You can even go on like Neighborhood Watch, I think, and you can find where which is good to know, but also shocking. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys will become a victim of sexual abuse before they turn 18. Approximately 20% of victims of sexual abuse are under the age of 8 years old. Approximately, out of 32 million reports to the cyber tip line, 99.5% of them were for child sexual abuse material. 40% of trafficked children are victimized by a family, friend, or intimate partner, and more than 100,000 children are sold for sex in the U.S. each year. And these are the sources are on underneath it on my website if you need sourcing. And there's so much more too. But I mean, this is spiritual warfare. You know what I mean? Like this is not, someone with a soul doesn't do this. And when you the Nate from the Innocent and Brad from the Innocent, Caleb, they'll tell you like, this is something in our country that is like, this is not just a human. This is deeper. This is a spiritual thing. And you're fighting darkness essentially.
Yep.
And when that just hit my soul, like, let's go, dude. Like the thought of my nephews going through that, I mean, just the Wonder Woman, like just freaking rips let's go. I mean, I've spent nights, as you know, nights and nights spiraling and going down the rabbit hole and bawling your eyes out. But then when you know that this is like, you're fighting with God and it's spiritual warfare, like, man, you have so much strength to pull inside of you that is just, you're like, you are just on fire. And then and Nate and Caleb will tell you that too. Like that's what keeps them going every night, because it can pull you down so hard at the thought of these stats. It'll pull you down. But man, when you have God like inside of you and that light just burns with fire, and you're gonna die someday, and know that like I fought for this. Like it's like Braveheart. Like you know it's the best feeling. And so I just, whatever that is for you, just go after it, because God needs all of us to step up into what we're passionate about.
Get in the game, man.
Get in the arena, man.
Get in the game, man. That's it. Yeah, you got to get in there. Man, thank you so much. It was, I mean, literally such a pleasure for me to, and an honor for me to be able to sit down with you and talk with you.
Thanks, Dave.
And the line is out in you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
It's not inside, man. It is out.
Yeah.
And it needs to be.
Yeah.
You're looking to mess somebody.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
all I'm
you.
saying.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm over 6 feet tall. Well, no, I'm 6 feet. I'm 5'11", 6 feet on a good day with my tennis shoes on. But yeah, I mean, I feel like God's like, yeah, this is your calling. Let's go. And it feels good to inspire more people to come together. So I'm just grateful that you felt that pull too. And now we get to be in this together and keep getting the word out. Yeah, man. I'm constantly, when I'm in this space, when I'm with God, when I'm in this space, I constantly just get chills all the time. So I know something's moving, and it's the best feeling ever. And so I just want to inspire anyone that if you just feel that pull a little bit, just to lean in and talk to God about it and just ask for the next step, ask for the next thing, and it will come. It'll come at the exact right time that you need, but it'll happen. And now we're here. So
come on. And
let's go.
Going forward.
I say my nickname is Let's Go, Erin, because I'm always saying let's go.
Come on. And mine's, I don't know if you can tell, mine's come on.
Yeah.
When I hear something I'm agreeing with, I'm like, come on, man, come on.
Let's go.
Hey, well,
thanks, guys.
If you've enjoyed that and enjoy hearing people's stories and enjoy hearing people's journeys, and like this, subscribe this, share this, check out, I'll have the website when this posts, I'll have the website for 756 Dark below. Check out their website, check out The Innocent, check out Helping Captives. I'll list all those websites. Man, thanks for joining us and choosing to spend time with us. I will see you next Wednesday. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dave.
We're dialed.
We're dialed. That was fun.